Alright, the spoilers are out for My Hero Academia, and let's just say that there are some things in this chapter that I didn't expect, but some things that I freaking called from the beginning. So let's dive right into this chapter and see what is going on. But first, right after this. Hey guys, how is it going? It is your boy, Manga Man Drew, and I'm here to cover the spoilers for My Hero Academia, Manga Chapter 364, and from what we get with the title of this chapter of what makes you use your power, this is a very interesting chapter because there's a lot of stuff that I didn't think that we would get in this chapter, but then there are certain things that I think that we're going to be getting in this arc, and I'll get into those points a little bit more, but there's a lot to talk about and a lot of interesting things to go over, so let's just dive right into the spoilers and talk about them, starting with the first line of text spoilers, which is: the chapter begins with a flashback of the doctor explaining that the bullets Shigaraki stole from the Hasakai were made based on a person's quirk, and that it kind of confirms the quirk's doomsday theory. He then proceeded with his research to extract it. All of this was contained in a recording left along with his new mark, with All For One collected as soon as he left Tartarus. The next page shows him full restored, saying Endeavor should feel proud he made him use this risky card. So, a lot to explain about this chapter, or this part of the text spoilers. First of all, the confirmation that quirks erasing bullets, that they have been reconfigured and remodified in a way, which is something that many people theorized was going to happen, and that All For One was the one that did this. He most likely did it the night that he broke out of jail, which makes sense, but yeah, this is an explanation for what's going on with All For One in this moment, and we'll get to see a little bit more about what the risk it was for All For One doing this within the next line of the text spoilers. And in the next line of text spoilers, you have Tokoyami realizing right away that it has something to do with Eri, and Hawks notices that he is going down to where the other heroes are, so he follows him, but he's not fast enough. All For One has stolen the clothes of one hero and the quirk of another. All For One says that using Rewind is his final play because his body will eventually disappear, but he is not bothered by this because the baton has already been passed to Shigaraki. What he has to do is finish off as many heroes as possible. So the explanation that's going on with All For One is that he knows for a fact that he's going to disappear and die, but that he's going to do his best to take out as many heroes as possible, which is terrifying if this is him at his prime. So understanding of what's about to happen is that most likely they are not going to be able to defeat All For One in this state, and that All For One is going to go on a rampage and kill a whole bunch of heroes. So that's going to be very fun, and that's not even the most shocking part of this chapter. We get revealed about All For One and the quirky racing bullets and what the use was used for, but we actually get a little bit more information about what's going on across the world, specifically in America. Because the next line of the text spoilers say that we cut to Washington, D.C., and we see that General Akbar is talking to the president. He says that they need to take the opportunity to finish off Shigaraki. Outside, there are protesters and destruction, including a sign that says, "We are all for one." The president says that America is also in danger and that the Quirk Research Center said Shigaraki is invincible. So he imagines that a political conflict will now begin in which the leaders of the first world countries will fight for Tomura's trust. Akbar tries to argue, saying that he won't stop after he starts taking away freedoms. But the president says that they have tried everything they had. When it seems like the discussion is about to end, Akbar shouts, "That monster cannot exist in our future." Akbar shows the picture of Little Star and asks if he understands why she accepted death. It was because she wanted to see today's youth become adults, because it's the role of the adults to support the next generation. As he says this, we see All Might reaching his hand to Star and Stripe, who extends it in turn, reaches her hand towards the future. It's a really beautiful page. So, this is something that I wasn't expecting. Well, I was kind of expecting it, but not in this case. I knew that we were going to have to address the issues of Star and Stripes in the world, and I thought that this was going to be addressed with other foreign heroes coming to the rescue of the Japanese people. But in actuality, what we're getting is a look at the world, specifically America, and seeing the impact that Star and Stripes' death has had on Akbar and the American people, and potentially what she represents, and that the purpose in the story that she holds is to be sort of a symbolic character, a character that is supposed to be representing an idea that is connected with the story, which is most likely what it means to actually be a hero and how she embodies those ideals. So this is something interesting, and I love the fact that Star and Stripe is coming back into the story even after her death, and showing that this arc is important and that we're probably going to get a little bit more from it, and potentially we may be getting foreign heroes sent to Japan closer or sooner than I actually anticipated. So yeah, that is something that is very interesting, but what is even more interesting is what we're going to be getting within the last parts of this chapter. Because as the speech ends, it ends by saying that this is why heroes use their powers. The focus shifts to UA and we see Edgeshot. He says that he already has experience in entering people's bodies and that it's too soon to give up. He extends thinned parts of his body into Bakugo's chest. He asks Mirko to hold Shigaraki in the meantime, even if she dies in the process, and says that he will not accept this death, that they cannot let this stopped heart lead to the end of a life. He will make up for the parts that were lost. Best Genius understands what that means and says that he will not be able to come back. Edgeshot responds with, "I know, so I'll leave the rest to you, Class President Hakamada." We see a picture showing the two of them as students. The final double page spread shows Edgeshot's full face. He says that he will become the heart of Bakugo and prepares to use his supreme Ninpo. End of chapter. This was unexpected. I knew for a fact that they will try to do some way of trying to revive Bakugo. That just makes the most sense for the type of story that we are seeing. But I wasn't expecting that Edgeshot will be the character to play a role in creating the heart, and that this is in a way Edgeshot dying to revive Bakugo. So yeah, I think this is very interesting, and I still think that Best Genius still has a part to play in reviving Bakugo. Just because Bakugo's heart is repaired through Edgeshot, it does not mean that he has been automatically revived. He would need to have blood pumped throughout his body, potentially more blood put into his body so that blood can reach his brain so that he can be revived. That is a possibility, and I still think that Best Genius will play a part in doing that by using the muscle fibers, or even using Edgeshot, who may have become fibers in this moment, to pretty much control Bakugo's heart to allow it to pump blood so that he could be revived in a sense. So there's some interesting stuff that's going to come from this chapter, and a whole bunch of controversies that are also going to come as well. And I think for me personally, I think I will be okay with this, but I will need a little bit more context to what is going on with Edgeshot and what Best Genius is going to do, which we're probably going to get that in the next chapter. So yeah, that's all the spoilers that we have for this chapter for My Hero Academia. What do you think? Do you think that it's a good idea that Edgeshot is going to be the one to repair Bakugo's heart? Leave your thoughts down in the comments down below. I would like to read them. And don't forget to subscribe to my YouTube channel and leave a like on the video if you want to see more content like this. Do all that cool jazz, and hopefully I'll be able to catch you in my next video. Goodbye!